Boy, I would not want to be the person running the movies for DC right now.
Hmm.
They've lost their Superman.
Wait, really?
Oh yeah, Henry Cavill is out as Superman. And now they lost their Batman.
Do people just hate working with DC's studios?
I just think, honestly, it's such an unstable...
Maybe they suck at making contracts.
No, they just don't know how to plan movies out.
Yeah.
And they make them too infrequently. Like, Disney and Marvel are just killing it, and they just don't compete. Yeah. They don't show up. Apparently people like Aquaman, though.
They need a Kevin Feige. Like a guy like that.
Yes,
to oversee everything. Like, and I go back to the Star Wars movies too. The new Star Wars movies are complete. They're incoherent consecutively because there's no overarching direction. Like they gave the first one to that one guy,
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams, and then they're like, here's the keys to the car to a brand new guy, and it's just like there's no...
Yeah, they're just passing the baton over to people without saying, by the way, here's where I really think this should go.
You can do different directors. Obviously, Marvel does it all the time, but you need somebody directing it, and that's what DC needs. But.
Yeah, and DC, and they had a Batman movie. It looks like it was maybe 100% filmed.
Yeah.
And it was going to be Ben Affleck, and he was going up against Deathstroke.
He's just like, LOL, nah.
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, like, okay, I've given, Ben Affleck grief about being Batman. He's better than George Clooney. I'll give him that, but he's definitely not one of the higher echelon actors to play the character.
Who do you see as the best?
My favorite?
Yeah.
Oh, Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Easily. But this version of him is just like, it's weird. I've always had this issue, and this goes along with the cartoons. The Justice League Batman is not the same as Batman by himself because he's got to
he's not supposed to work with other people. That's not Batman.
Right, and it adds this element to the character that just doesn't work that well for the character. I do think it's cool that he is so smart and such a tactician that he has all these plans to he has a plan to conquer and defeat each of these Justice League people that are much stronger and much more powerful than him, because he is just a normal man. But aside from that, it's just weird. It's like the character just doesn't belong.
They got to add a little bit of a campiness to him to make him work with all those weirdos almost.
Right. Oh, what's your superpower? You're rich?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, that's such an old meme. But, so, Ben Affleck, for all intents and purposes, sounds like he's out. So, and it sounds like they might go with a younger Bruce Wayne. That's kind of the talk on the street that I've been hearing. Because
it makes sense. But what's the plan at this point? Reboot Batman? Or just... slide in another actor, be like, this is him the whole time,
right? And they're making a second Wonder Woman movie. They're still apparently planning on a Flash movie. I don't know. I last thing I heard from DC, they were going to focus less on an extended universe and just kind of do things movie by movie. So,
like Shazam,
yeah,
Aquaman.
which could be. I'm looking forward to.
I'm excited for Shazam. I'll probably see it in theaters.
Yeah, it's a character I'm not too familiar with, so it'll be fresh. But this thing with Ben Affleck, I think, is just it's really shaking it to the point where we're trying to come up with names of actors who haven't done a superhero role yet for Marvel, because you're not allowed to do that. It's in their contract that they can't do that. So it kind of really narrows the playing field for the next Batman. So who's your pick?
Well, I thought long and hard about it. A, pull somebody up. It doesn't have to be a big name.
Yeah, someone fresh.
I'm all for that all the time, some great actors can be discovered in that way. Everyone's got to start somewhere. Like, I don't think people realize the depth of like the good actors that are out there, and they just don't get recognized because people like familiar, famous faces and stuff like that. So that would be probably my first choice before the one I'm about to say. And the one that I came up with was Zac Efron. And I don't know, I just couldn't think of anyone else really, but he does have I feel like he's got a pretty good face for it.
He could play a billionaire playboy.
Yeah. And then he could put the mask on and probably be different. I don't know what the voice would be like, but I feel like he's pretty popular right now with that Hugh Jackman singing movie that he was in.
The Showman.
Yeah. Greatest Showman. Yeah. He was in that and some movies before that, so that could, you'd probably get all the girls in there who were like, oh,
they'll go see it.
Yeah, same thing that they had with Ben Affleck, I guess. But so yeah, that was my thought of like an actual popular actor. But I feel like still my number one would just be have an audition for it. Find someone who's good.
Yeah,
that no one may not know.
Now, so I'm going to start off with something crazy, and I'm not the first person to come up with this or say this, but I think it totally would work. There's a kind of a popular Batman property called Batman Beyond, which takes place about 20 or so years after Bruce Wayne retires from being Batman. So you have an older, frailer Bruce Wayne who is a hermit in Wayne Manor, lives alone, and there hasn't been a Batman in a long time until he meets Terry McGinnis, who becomes the next Batman. And Bruce Wayne could be played by Michael Keaton, who played Batman 30 years ago now.
In the good old Batman movie.
And the Tim Burton
Not Batman
version.
and Robin.
Right.
Bat nipples and all that.
None of that. But we do Michael Keaton as that version, and I think we got something. Now, we could do that. But realistically, they're probably not going to go for that. They're going to do if they're going to do a younger Wayne. At first, I thought maybe Chris Pine, but can't do him because he's in the Wonder Woman movies. Yep. And then I thought of the character or the actor from Pearl Harbor who hasn't been acting a whole lot. I'm actually going to, in real time, pull up IMDb.
Find his name.
Super useful. And see who the actor is.
So I guess it has to be kind of a reboot if they're going for a younger Bruce Wayne, if that's indeed what they're doing, and if they're trying not to make them connected.
Right.
I don't know. And I mean, honestly, it's been a while. I mean,
Josh Hartnett is his name. Yeah, and he hasn't been in a whole lot. So he is right around age-wise, he's in his early 40s.
I mean, not super young.
He's not that young anymore. But he is one of those actors who, kind of like Leonardo DiCaprio, just doesn't seem to really age a whole lot over time.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a good one. But yeah, it's really hard coming up with them just because it seems like everyone's got a role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then the rest of the folks just don't seem all that cut out to play a Bruce Wayne character. You can put on the cape and cowl and literally anyone can look like Batman.
Yeah.
Any dude can pull it off. But to play Bruce Wayne is the more important role, I think, to nail.
Yeah. And you got to find a good Batman voice.
Of course.
Are you a fan of the Christian Bale voice?
I mean, I make fun of it, but at the same time, like, I only think it has problems in certain parts of the film.
Mm-hmm. Well, my problem is when he sounds super nasally. It isn't who I am underneath, but it's what I do that defines me. Like, you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
What's up with that? Like, he sounds different than when he normally uses it. It's so weird.
Yeah.
I felt like he got better with it as the movies went on.
The one where he's just like beating up the Joker and the Joker being played by Joker being Dark Knight Joker.
Wow. It's just when you need it most.
Yeah, it's just It's just not there. I'm going to be kicking myself. But yeah, the Joker's in that scene is in the interrogation scene, and he's doing a really amazing job. And Batman's just going like, "Where are they?" and like beating him up. But if you focus in on his voice, like that's not, it's really not good. And then they do the same thing with Dark Knight Rises with
I don't mind that.
Bane, where he's like, "Where is it? Where's that trigger? Where's that trigger?"
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. That doesn't. Yeah. To me, it was in the first one when he would go all nasally, and it was like, what?
I think in the first one, my favorite part of Batman Begins is when he uses the fear gas on Dr. Crane. And he looks like
a drooling tar monster.
Demon. I love that. Yeah. He's just like, "Who are you working for?" Ra's al Ghul is dead.
Yeah.
And I know that they're doing effects and stuff.
Yeah.
But it would be weird if he just kind of did like the normal, kind of his normal voice, only lower.
Yeah.
And
because you want it to be disguised. It's interesting to me that the nasally thing doesn't bother you, because you usually like hate nasally voices.
Yeah, it's just because it just sounds, I don't know. I think Christian Bale kind of has a naturally nasal voice, if that makes sense.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where DC goes from here. They need to put out a Batman movie at some point. We haven't had one since Dark Knight Rises.
Well, it's like I was saying, a reboot. I mean, you're ahead of Spider-Man, who reboots it every 3 years. So it's been a while, really.
Been a while.
Yeah, and so if you're watching this on YouTube, leave in the comments who you think should
Who's
play
your pick?
King
And remember,
Crusader.
the rule is they can't be in the MCU at all.
Yeah.
Other than that, you're good.
Game.